Hey, this is Matthew from NerdNewsToday.com. I'm here at the Star Trek mission in New York, here with David now from Star Trek Timelines. David, how's it going today?
I'm having a great time. You know, it's day one at the con, so I got lots of energy, and I'm ready to spend the rest of the weekend talking about Trek.
That's right. We got a lot of Trek stuff coming out this weekend. And here at Star Trek Timelines, what these guys are doing is they have every hour pretty much during the 3-day show, special cards you guys can get. We'll get a good shot of those a little bit later. So I guess first question, though, is for people who don't know what Star Trek Timelines is, can you explain what the game is all about?
Sure. Star Trek Timelines, we came out in January. It's a game for Android and Apple. So you can play it on your home device. And what we've done is we wanted to take all of Trek, so everything from Enterprise through to Voyager, and cram into a game. And so we paired ourselves with John Delancey. So we got Q, and he sort of snapped his fingers, and we've created a new story that's about this temporal anomaly. Basically, time has just collapsed. And so the player's job is to sort of work through this problem. It's so big that Q doesn't even really understand, or maybe he does and he's not letting on. And so you are getting all the heroes and villains from all of Trek and bringing them together on one ship to solve this problem.
And so how does the game actually work? I'm a player of this game. I've been playing it for a while. But for the newbies out there who don't know what's going on, explain the actual gameplay here.
I mean, there's a couple of different things. So we want to tell a lot of different types of stories, and same with Star Trek. So in Star Trek, you have your episode, your main conflict, and what we have is sort of a system of storytelling that sort of tells those heroic stories. You pick your away team, 3 members, and you do a series of challenges, and you get rewards for that. Also in Star Trek, sometimes a character gets on the shuttle or runabout, and it goes off for a while, and they participate in a Bat'leth tournament or something like that. And we have a game, we have a system that allows for that. So it's a different type of story. And then lastly, sometimes things kind of break down, and there's some pretty good ship battles. I got my Cisco. Sometimes you had to take the Defiant and fight some fights. So we actually have space battles as well. So there's 3 different sort of gameplay modes that we have.
And they're a lot of fun to play, and something that you also have now in the game is squadrons. Yeah. So now there's actually an element of a teamwork and building a team. Can you explain that to us?
Sure. So our goal is to tell all these different types of stories. And one of the big stories that we didn't have at launch was the idea that there were these problems so big that a single captain could solve them. And so we've created this, we started with fleets, but fleets are really just a way for you to sort of have a different chat room. And squadrons is this thing that we're taking your fleet, which can be 50 people, and we're boiling it down to a group of 5. We think that's a lot more manageable. You can actually know those people more intimately, and you can actually strategize. And what is going to happen is that you and 4 of your friends are going to compete against these other squadrons. And so that's going to add this sort of new dimension. It's going to allow us to tell a little bit of different stories. We're actually going to use that. Right now we're doing the event Battle for New York 2 in honor for being in here in New York City. And actually squadrons right now are actually giving players a little bit of a boost in the leaderboards. In future updates, we're going to do some crew sharing. And so the leader of your crew or your squad is going to be able to share a crew. And then at the end of the event, the best squads are actually going to help dictate the course of the game. So not only tell the story, but that's going to help inform new characters and new storylines.
Okay, very interesting. Now, I'm sure fans have been dying for all sorts of characters. Yep. Can you tell us who's been, I guess, highest in demand and who we can expect to come out very soon?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
we want spoilers here.
Yeah. So I would say the highest in demand was probably Sherlock Data. People really liked Cochrane too, which was a bit of a surprise. James Cromwell is awesome. Right, and so those were 2 big ones that people really wanted. And Mir Spock, that was another one that people wanted. All right, coming out in the future, what kind of? Oh, so this is. Yeah, no, that's easy. I can tell you anything. Okay, so there's a couple of really exciting characters coming up. Okay, the Gorn Captain. So that's a bit of a scoop. That art is awesome. We're kind of going back and forth. So CBS, we work with CBS, and because we wanted to get the classic Gorn Captain with the boulder above his head, which kind of poses this interesting problem with the way things are scoped. So we're trying to get that. That's going to be awesome. Goran Captain, I really, really enjoyed that. The one lore. So lore when he finds the Borg and he wants to create this new collective, and he's got that like really cool black suit, which is great because it's got that, he has that lore smirk, so that you know that it's lore. And then I think one of the cool things that we're going to be showing for the first time at our panel, we're going to be moving into, we want to tell our own stories, and we also want to tell the stories of the players. And so we're starting to work towards maybe taking some spins on some characters that we haven't seen in a certain way. And so I am totally blanking on her name. Kalar, Worf's, Alexander's mother. I think it's Kalar.
If you're wrong, you'll get corrected.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Please do. A mirror version of her. And so it's, I think, absolutely phenomenal art. Original composition. We took a lot of the art from the stuff in the shows that she's appeared on. There's a little bit of Intendant Kira in there. There's a little bit of some other stuff. We kind of mashed that together, and we have some cool art. So that'll, we can show that to you in the at the panel.
You guys won't be there. I'll probably be there checking it out. But now, last question here. Since Star Trek Timelines is a freemium game, the currency is dilithium crystals. Now, a lot of other freemium games that I've played, there's ways to get that premium currency. With Timelines currently, you can't. You can now warp things, but you can't quite use crystals unless you pay money.
Right.
Are there any plans to have systems to gain free crystals, either by watching ads or anything like that, or even like events, rewards?
Sure. I mean, that's a tough thing. So the free-to-play, we love free-to-play because it means that everyone can get in it and play the game, and we want people to be able to experience everything. We also really appreciate those that choose to spend money, and we do so by giving them access to, it's not necessarily even like content that is unavailable to other players, but maybe at a speed at which they aren't, they can sort of pick that back up. And so whenever we're talking about like giving away dilithium, we have to balance those two things. And so one of the things in the short term that we want to start addressing is figuring out how to get the activities that players would use dilithium for in the hands of their players. So we're trying some ad stuff right now. So basically one of the things that we're going to let players do is watch an ad to warp. In the future, it might be something like watch an ad to get more cadet tickets or something like that. So those types of activities are in the short term. As we start moving into like maybe year 2, we would be really investigating alternate ways of getting dilithium.
So that's good to know, but I am a player that spent money in the game, and it's worth spending the money because, like you said, you don't need to spend the money. It helps, but you can easily play without having to spend the money.
I think the monthly card is really a good deal.
It's like $4 a month, I believe it is.
Yeah, and that's going to give you a bunch of dilithium, and we understand. We have to figure out the right way to keep the game going and making sure that players get what they want.
So that's Star Trek Timelines, available on iOS and pretty much everywhere on all the phones, essentially.
Yeah, and actually, if people go to our website, they can sign up for our Bridge Crew. And in the next, let's say, couple of months, maybe 6 weeks to a month, we're going to be starting doing some testing for different ways to play the game. So it's not like soon like that we're going to be announcing anything, because it is a very different way, and there's a bunch of like technical stuff that we have to figure out, and it's a whole set of new challenges. So sign up to Bridge Crew, and you can get in, and we'll figure that out together.
So we're talking consoles, Steam?
Different ways of playing the game.
I don't want to get in trouble, because I think we probably already did, but...
Different ways of playing the game.
All right, perfect. All right, well, David, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today.
I appreciate it.